Hello and welcome back. In this particular video, we're going to talk about how the likes that you generate are going to help you create a winning strategy. So I gave you kind of a bird's eye view of how it can help you build social proof, engagement, authority, and then expand to testing different content pieces, and then of course applying that to tier 1 countries. So I wanted to give you an example here and show you what my Facebook ads manager looked like and what that looked like in terms of, different campaigns, different ad sets, different ads that have been set up utilizing this strategy, and what that looks like so that you can apply that yourself. So I wanted to show you real quick. These different rows are showing different countries. So you can't really see it now, but as I scroll down, you'll see it in just a minute. So generally speaking, we'll run daily budgets of about $1 to $5. Now you can see some of these are getting 29 likes, 221 likes, and then you can see the results. And then of course you can see the cost per result. So some of these are getting about 9 cents a like. And then some of these are getting 3 cents or 1 cent. And then some are getting, 34 cents. Now, I want to be transparent and honest and say that the majority of times you will not start out of the gate with a campaign that is getting you 1 cent or even 3 cents per like. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. So this is when it comes down to testing different images. You see, a lot of times when you're trying to figure out what actually resonates with your audience, it's really hard, right? If you're doing like search engine optimization, it's kind of hit or miss. You're guessing and trying to figure out what is actually resonating with people. And a lot of times, because SEO takes time, it takes sometimes months to about 6 months, you may never even know what is working and what is not working until half a year later. But with paid ads, yes, you do have to spend a little bit of money, but what you're trying to do here is you're buying data. So I want you to understand that when you run ads, you're not necessarily trying to get a result right away. You're trying to see where the market goes, where your audience goes in terms of steps. Okay, they take a step, they like your page. What next? Do they like your page? Do they not? Is there a reason why? Does the sales copy or the words that you use resonate with them? Do the images resonate? Do they not? So I briefly touched base on this previously, but being able to test things out with pennies is a lot better than having to spend dollars, right? Or pounds or euros. So as you can see here, if I scroll down, you can see that for some of these, I've targeted the US and gotten it down to about 7 cents, which is not bad. But as you can imagine, if I tested it out, like over here, this is US stores, it would have been about 34 cents just out of the gate, or even more. Sometimes it would be actually $1 per like. So if I scroll down here, you can see Asia. This encompasses Asia, excluding Philippines. And I got about $1 daily budget, 8,371 page likes. So that's the result. And then, of course, cost per result was 1 cent. So we spent $92 and we got a good amount of likes. Now, whenever I see this, I want to break things down further and maybe test out a different image and see what works. Now, as you can see here, we've targeted the Philippines, and you can target a country and then a specific age group. What I recommend is you target the age group that has been resonating or that looks like your customers. If your customers are mainly like 50 to 70, then focus on that. But at the same time, you don't want to disregard potential audiences that might be interested in your product. So as we scroll down here, we've got Philippines, 3,848 likes for about 2 cents. So we scroll down further. When it says third W, that's third world countries. So those are tier 3 countries. And I basically just took a bunch of third world countries and just put them all into one campaign. Now, ideally, you would probably want to split them up into different countries, but just to make things faster, I did that. So as you can see here, I've got penny likes, literally pennies right there. Now, like I said, bear in mind that even though these are third world or even tier 1, 2, or 3 countries, or mostly tier 2 and 3 countries, the fact that they're targeted means that they are going to like, comment, and share the posts that are actually going to go up on the Facebook fan page. You see what I mean? So that's what is powerful about this, is you get the engagement aspect, which actually will help you in the long run. So the goal here is to just make you aware that going down this route, testing these tier 2 and 3 countries is actually a really good thing. And that is something that your competitors are not doing. A lot of times they'll disregard it because they're thinking, well, it's not targeted. I'm not targeting, people overseas or anything like that. So this is thinking outside of the box. Okay, so what I just showed you previously, those were the ad sets. And the ad sets allows you to target a specific country, a specific demographic. Now, right below that, you have the ad level. And these are ads or images, content, headlines, and all of that. So as you can see here, this allows me to test different images, what resonates and what doesn't. And this image right here, I put a $7 daily budget. It got 3,641 page likes for a penny each. And the relevance score was 7, and that's actually good. So a lot of times people will get relevance scores of 1 or 2 or 3, and that's not a good thing, because if it's low like that, what will end up happening is you'll actually spend more money. The higher the relevance score, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, up to 10, the lower you will actually pay, because Facebook wants to reward people who have ads that create a good experience, right? So if we scroll down further, we can see for the most part, it's relevant score 7 and then 8. So this one did really well. This one was 7. This one was 6. And then we look at the 6 and then we're like, okay, this one actually got a decent amount of page likes. Even though it was a lower relevant score, it made it up for it with a good amount of page likes. So you do want to take into consideration the likes, the cost, and all of that before you decide, okay, this is not a good image, this is not a good text, or anything like that. So I wanted you to see this so that you understand the process and that you understand that it all starts from a targeted like, and then it goes from there all the way down here, and then it creates that snowball effect that generates more likes and more engagement to your Facebook fan page. Okay, before we talk about how to go about creating the content with the images and the quotes, you really need to think about carefully what images or even quotes resonate with your audience. So you might be thinking, well, I sell like scuba diving stuff or basketball stuff. Then what you could do is you could find celebrities in that niche and then find quotes from them, kind of thing. So you kind of have to get a little bit creative in this case, but you want to think what images would stand out and what quotes would stand out. Now, there's a site called getstencil.com. That's getstencil.com. So it says stencil here, but it's getstencil.com. And you can log in and they'll give you access to a ton of quotes and a ton of really good looking images. So let's say, for example, that we are in the business niche. So we'll type the keyword in business, and we are focusing on, let's say, business women. So let's say this one resonates with the demographic. So what we want to do is we want to click it like so. We can move it around. And of course, we want to delete the other text, put it down here. And we want to find a photo that resonates with that demographic. So we could type in business woman and see what we get. So we could use something like this, maybe. Now, obviously that does not, you cannot read that, so you're going to need to play with it a little bit until the text fits in like that. Like that. And then maybe the size is just too big, so we get that there. And then maybe we put that here, like that. Okay, so once you like it, all you have to do is you can click save or save it to a collection, which is basically like a folder, or you can click download and then upload that to Facebook. Now, what's really cool about GetStencil is they have a feature where once you have all the images created, you can use their share feature and right click and connect it to your Facebook fan page. So within GetStencil itself, you can actually share the image instead of having to log in to Facebook and do all that. You can also hire a freelancer you can say, I want you to log in every single day at this time, this such and such time, and then do a share from GetStencil and go from there. So that way people are constantly engaging with your content. Now, something that we found that works really well is to get an idea of kind of a central location or a central time that might be midday or during a certain time where your audience is free, and then post during that time. So that's it. That's all we do is create images that resonate with the audience, and then words, whether they're quotes, whether you can find them here or elsewhere on Google. And that's all we do. Take these, create these content, create hundreds of these images, and then just post them on a daily basis. One thing you want to do is, and keep this in mind, is to be consistent. People like consistency because it's predictable. So if you upload an image, make sure you do it every day. Or if you communicate with them and say, we're going to upload every other week or every week, you don't want to do every other week. That's too long. But every other day kind of thing, or twice, 3 times a week. So that is how to create the very, very simplistic 5-minute or even less content. And that's all we do. You don't have to get fancy. You don't need article content or anything like that. Your whole goal right now is to build engagement and build those fan page likes and show people that are looking at your page like, hey, this is an engaging, and people are getting engaged, people are active, come join this community. Because a lot of times if you yourself, if you're looking at a fan page and it's all empty, then you're not going to want to join. But if you see a lot of people, communicating, commenting, liking, sharing, psychologically you think, oh, there must be something interesting, right? So that's it. And let's move on to the next video. Hello and welcome back. This is video number 5. And in this video, we're going to talk about how to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So this phrase or saying is basically focusing on one thing that will allow you to save time and allow you to essentially achieve the goal of 2 things, which in this case is social proof and, second of all, engagement. Okay, so we talked briefly about earlier that the social proof aspect is just the likes, right? But it's not just the likes, it's also the content, right? The second thing, which is engagement, can only be achieved if you drive targeted likes or targeted visitors, right? So essentially this video is all about the conversion factor, because In the previous video, we talked about how to go about creating content within less than 5 minutes, which are basically images with quotes on them, right? So, how do we create or get images that resonate with your targeted audience, and how do we figure that out? A lot of cases, a lot of times we think, oh, we know that. We know our audience pretty well, and we'll just pick and choose some images. But that's the wrong mindset to have, because just because we think that is the case, or we think that's what they would like, it's not always the case. So what you need to do is you need to figure out several different images that might be similar but slightly different. For example, for this fan page, we have a dog, a picture of a dog. We know the demographic is mainly women, and these particular women may like dogs. So we have a cute dog here, and then of course, a day without laughter is a day wasted, Nicholas Chamfont. So that's a quote that sort of ties into the cute puppy. So it's saying that you need to laugh every single day, and this looks kind of funny. All right. So that's one image that we could test. Another image that we could test would be something similar, maybe another dog, but with a different quote. So that's what we did in this case. Now, this was actually just uploaded recently, so you can see it's only got 82 people reached. But this one here is a picture of another dog with some quote that says, "Kindness is the best key to open the locked door of every heart." So this is a little bit more sentimental. It's not more laughter, but we can see that it's got 258 people reached and 11 engagements versus the other one that had no engagements at all. So we haven't even run ads yet, but if we do run ads, then we can test these two up against each other and see which actually converts. Now, in terms of images, what I recommend is whatever your niche is, whatever your market is, try to test different images ranging from different things that relate directly to the product and service that you're selling, or things that are unrelated, or things that make people laugh, make people feel good inside, kind of thing. And just test it out and see which one gets the most engagement. And that's all we're trying to figure out right now, because in terms of setting up the ad campaign, the ad set level, and the ad, that's what I'm going to teach you in the next 3 videos. So for now, it's just a matter of gathering images that you think would convert. And then by the next 3 videos, you'll see whether or not they will convert or not based on the tier 3 country traffic. So that is going to allow us to test images by only spending literally $10, $20, $30, or even $50 versus testing it against a tier 1 country initially and spending hundreds or even thousands of dollars before you even figure out what actually works. So that's what I want you to do for now, is just do that. Now, I want you to go to different sites. There's several sites out there that will provide you with these kind of royalty-free images. Get Stencil was one of them. But if you don't see anything that you don't like on Get Stencil, there are actually other sites out there. Okay, so there are 2 websites that we use for almost the last decade. And the first one is Big Stock Photo. That's bigstockphoto.com, as you can see here. This, they have really good images, and it does cost money, obviously. Another one is called graphicriver.net. And if you go here, you can actually go to photos, and you'll find photos for about $2. Now, if you're low on money and you want something for free, then there's another site called pixabay.com. And you can go there, you can sign up, and you can find a lot of really good royalty-free images that allow for commercial use. And as you can see, it looks just as good. There's just a more of a limited variety compared to that of like Big Stock Photo or even Graphic River. So now that you have a idea of what to do, which is gather the images, want you to pause the video, figure that out, and then in the next 3 videos, I'm going to show you how to actually set up your ads.